Football's biggest party worth $200 billion begins on 20th November 2022 in Qatar. Imagine being one of the best football players on the planet and yet having no invitation to the party. Pretty sad, right? That's how some of the big football stars will be feeling in November this year. Goalazzio has put together a list of these star players who won't be featuring in FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar. But before we start, can you guess what is common between the football legends like Eric Cantona, Ryan Giggs, George Best, George Weah, Alfredo Di Stefano, and Lazio Kubala? The answer is that none of these football legends ever featured in a World Cup. Press the thumbs up button under this video if you already knew that. Erling Haaland, a player who needs no introduction. The most talked about player in Premier League this season will be missing out on World Cup this year. Erling Haaland has already scored 3 hat-tricks and 20 goals in 13 games for Manchester City. Despite scoring 5 goals for Norway in qualifiers, he was unable to help the national team qualify for the World Cup. Norway finished third in their group behind Netherlands and Turkey. But hang on, did you know that Haaland was actually born in Leeds? So, is he eligible to play for England? Before you start daydreaming about the lethal combination of Harry Kane and Haaland up front for the Lions, let's break the ice. He is a Norwegian citizen, therefore he can't play for England. Martin Odegaard, current Arsenal captain who has become a key player for Mikel Arteta's young side, is another Norwegian player who won't be in Qatar for the FIFA World Cup 2022. He will be joining Haaland on a sofa or on a beach to watch the World Cup from home. Riyad Mahrez, another Manchester City star who won't be on the plane to Qatar. Algeria failed to qualify for the World Cup at the expense of Cameroon, who came out on top in the second leg, winning the game 2-1 to qualify for the World Cup. Gianluigi Donnarumma, a 23-year-old Italian goalkeeper who has already won major honors like UEFA Euro Player of the Tournament 2020 and IFFHS World's Best Goalkeeper 2021, will also not feature in the World Cup. It is unbelievable that Italy will miss out on the second World Cup in a row after losing to North Macedonia, one of the biggest upsets in international football history. Marco Verratti, Jorginho, Chiellini, Federico Chiesa, and Bonucci are other Italian stars who won the UEFA Euro 2020 but won't be part of the World Cup. Should the nation that wins the major tournaments such as Euros, Copa America, and Africa Cup of Nations automatically qualify for the World Cup? Leave your opinion in the comment section. Mohamed Salah. Egyptian King Mo Salah is another big name who will be missing the World Cup. Egypt and Senegal went head-to-head in the AFCON final, which was decided by Mane scoring from the spot kick. The same two teams played against each other for the World Cup qualifiers, and Salah's missed penalty meant that Egypt failed to qualify for the World Cup. Luis Diaz, another Liverpool star who won't be at the World Cup. Colombia only managed to finish 6th in the World Cup qualifying tournament, which had 10 teams. They missed out by 1 point. Along with Luis Diaz, James Rodriguez will also miss the World Cup. Speaking to the media, Colombian captain Rodriguez mentioned how painful it was to miss out on the World Cup. Naby Keita, third Liverpool player on the list. Guinea failed to win a single game in the World Cup qualifiers. Naby Keita will be joining his fellow Liverpool players and cheering for Mane from their homes. Wilfried Zaha. After qualifying for 3 successive World Cups, Ivory Coast will be missing out on this World Cup. 29-year-old Crystal Palace forward Zaha will have to wait until the 2026 World Cup. Patrick Schick, a player who caught everyone's eye in UEFA Euro 2020, will also have to wait another 4 years to show his impact on the World Cup stage. Austria's 1-0 defeat to Sweden in extra time meant that Austria failed to qualify for the World Cup. Tomas Susek, West Ham sensation, and David Alaba for Real Madrid will also miss out. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibra returned from retirement to help Sweden qualify for the World Cup. After beating Austria, Sweden failed to beat Poland in the playoffs. Apart from Ibrahimovic, there are a few other big names from Sweden who won't be in Qatar. Newcastle forward Alexander Isak, Dejan Kulusevski from Spurs, and Manchester United duo Elanga and Victor Lindelof will all miss out. Aubameyang. Chelsea striker will be enjoying the winter in London after Gabon failed to qualify for the World Cup. Before we finish, we have put together a team that we think is the best 11 for the players missing out on the World Cup 2022. With Haaland and Salah leading from the front, Any team can be hard to beat. We have gone for a 4-2-4 formation with Donnarumma in goal. In our starting 11, we will have Haaland, Salah, Mahrez, and Luis Diaz as our front four, with Odegaard and Verratti bossing the midfield. We will have Alaba, Chiellini, Lindelof, and Spinazzola as our back four. What will be your best 11? Let us know in the comment section.